guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Patara with you. We're going to go over how to make biscuits again. This is a newer recipe for you guys. I put a bunch of pictures, well, not too many, 5 or 6 pictures of some beautiful biscuits I made the other day. They turned out really, really good. And of course, they were gone by the end of breakfast. Well, I put one away. I hid one away and ate it that evening. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you how to make these biscuits. I call these my Snowflake biscuits. It's a little bit of a twist on what I'm doing in terms of making biscuits. I like to tamper with different styles. You need to learn to make different things different ways because you want to work with what you've got. It also is really good to know how to do this because, well, if you want to make your biscuits taste a little bit lighter and fluffier, say for strawberry shortcake versus, say, beef stew. I like my cornbread that way. I like cornbread different ways according to different style recipes. Biscuits are no different. Do not let biscuit making be an intimidating factor for you. You just got to get in there and do it. Let me tell you, you can make biscuits for years and you're still going to burn them. Burn it to learn it. So let's dive in. This is going to be a double batch, okay, because I'm going to take some to my Nana. She's made me a lot of biscuits over the years, so we're going to make her some today. I'm going to see my Nana today. So nonetheless, it's going to be a double batch. You're going to see a little bit of a mix-up. You're going to see some additions being added to it. It's not a big deal. These are things you have in the kitchen. So let's just go through it. Get your cast iron out. Get your rolling pin ready. And let's get in the biscuits. Okay, guys, here we go. First thing. I'm going to talk fast because I don't want this to be a 37-minute video on how to make biscuits. It doesn't need to be that complicated, okay? First things first, get your milk out. If you do not want to use buttermilk, then don't. I'm going to make buttermilk. Now, this is a double batch. So instead of 1 cup milk, I have 2. Instead of 2 cups flour, I have 4, okay? 4, 2. Now look here, before I get started, I'm getting out the white vinegar. Did I measure that? Nah. Let that sit, let that curdle up if you want to add the buttermilk effect to your biscuit. You don't have to. If you milk a cow and you have homemade buttermilk, that's the best thing you've got on the planet. But we don't have that right now, so we're going to make that work. You're going to come over in your big bowl and you're going to get your stuff out and ready because biscuits can get messy, so we're going to get messy. But first things first, what I do is I plop out. Now I'm making a double batch. I'm making a double batch and they're going to be larger sized biscuits. They won't be full cat head in my opinion. You can use your large wide mouth rings for your canning jars if you want to start getting that big and bigger. I'm not today. I'm going to go with my biscuit cutter. It's going to help keep it off of my hands a little bit better for the video, okay? I do get in here and I whisk up my flour a little bit, okay? All right? And then whiskey, 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 right here. White flour. Just whisk it up, girl. Whisk it up. Just making sure there's no lumps. I'm not going to overdo it, but just kind of want to blend it a little bit, okay? Remember, 4 cups because I'm making a double batch. I'm going to aim for about 20 biscuits, give or take. Might push 2 dozen. It's all going to depend upon how big your cutter is, okay? There it is. No rocket science. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is add my dry goods. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. Now, I'm not going to measure. We're going to wing it simply because I can't hold the camera and do a great measurement. We'll be cutting and going all the time. So I'm going to do about a tablespoon right here and a tablespoon right there. If it's a little bit more, a little bit less, guys, we're not sweating the small stuff now, are we? No. So that is your baking powder. Did you see that? Not your baking soda yet. You're going to come in with some baking soda in just a minute, but it's going to be much less, okay? So I'm just going to fluff that in there, fluff it back and forth, get it mixing, no big deal. Then I'm going to come in with my baking soda. Now, I'm going to use less, in a double batch, it's definitely going to be less than half a teaspoon because it will make it bitter, okay? So we're just going to plop. Ooh, that might have been too much. Hang on a second. Did you see me do that? Did you see me mess that up? I'm going to take a little bit of that out. I'd rather have a little bit less than that than a little bit too much. See? Not sweating it. Just going to keep on flowing with it. Now, you really want to mix that in because I'm telling you, if you get a bite of a biscuit and it's got one side a little bit salty and one side a little bit bitter, that's your culprit right there. So just mixing that in, not sweating the small stuff. Okay? The more you make, the more you're going to find out your style, the more you're going to be able to get your measurements right around how you want them. And it still, most of the time, is really, really good, but every now and then it gets a little crazy. Now I'm coming in with salt. Some people add salt, some don't. I like to add a little pinch, a little double pinch of salt, because again, it's a double batch. You see that? Oh yeah, coonhound is barking outside. We're mixing. Now, these are your dry goods. I'm adding in a new dried good. Did you see this? Ooh. Is my spooky man in my video today? I don't see him. My ghost isn't showing up. I am adding in a heaping tablespoon. Did you hear me? Sugar. Yes, I did. Don't you tell my Nana. Don't you tell my Nana. Nana does not put sugar in her biscuits. But these are Snowflake biscuits. So, we're going to make them a little bit lighter, a little bit fluffier. Now, some folks make yeast biscuits. You can do that too. Guys, when I make biscuits, I want to blend them, I want to fluff them, I want to stick them in the oven, and I want my biscuits. I'm not waiting on yeast. Now, there are some wonderful recipes with that, and they blend really nice with the sugar. I am bypassing the whole yeast situation. There's all my dried goods right there. Boom, done. Next thing I'm going to do is come in with about a stick of butter. You want it ice cold, baby. I'm going to chop it. I'm going to plop them in there, and then you're going to see me grinding them up with my hands. I don't use a butter cutter deal. I don't like those. I think they're, I just rather use my hand, and what we're going to do is we're going to blend this all in here and make it like cornmeal. That is the goal, okay? Don't add the buttermilk yet. That's the last ingredient, okay? So look, see how it's kind of curdling up? That's what you want. Let's get the butter in. All right, guys, the butter's in there, coming in, and just using my fingers. You do what works best for you, but I like to just grind that butter up and get it into the flour. That way I can feel the texture, okay? And it's hard. It's real hard, cold butter. The colder, the better, okay? So leave that in the fridge as long as possible. So all I'm going to do is mix. James, can you come turn this off, please? Because I'm going to end up touching it and it's going to get flour. All you got to do is push the button. It's still recording. He can just cut it off. Thank you. I love you. All right, guys. I got the butter mixed in. It is just coarse flour. The next thing I'm going to do is come right here with the milk. And I want you to see, it's kind of thick. See, it was clumpy. You see that? You see that? You see that? That's what you want. All right, guys, so we poured the buttermilk in. That took about 10 minutes. That's why I say pour the vinegar in first in your milk and then start everything else so it'll clabber up, girl. All right, I'm just going to continue to mix this in, and then we'll start rolling out some biscuits here in just a second. You fling it. Sometimes you ended up with a little bit extra flour. Sometimes you don't. It's never 100% the same every single time. And I don't sweat it. Okay? Now, I try not to put too much too much flour on the countertop. No sense in wasting it and making it too dry. You want just enough so that you're mixing it in, mixing it over, and keeping it from completely sticking. You can see it's not really sticking that much. All right, so I'm just gonna mix this for a second. You don't want to over mix your biscuits. I'm not going to layer them up either. I'm just going to make, there we go. I don't overwork them. I try not to. That's a learning curve. So see, look, it's not sticking. It's moving. Put a little flour on my French rolling pin because I love working with those. And we're just going to roll it out. And you can make your biscuits as thick as you want, as thin as you want. It's totally up to you, and you're going to learn what you like as you go. Now you can cut them, you can drop them. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to come in, and this was a learning curve too, guys. Don't twist, don't chubby checker. Just cut down and move on, because you don't want to seal those ends so that they tend to rise. So I'm just trying to push as much as I can, and that'll be an on one. So that's what we're looking like. So I'll put those down, and then we'll roll again and put some more. Let's see how many we get. All right, I had a little bit sticky on one part, so I added just a little bit of flour. Mix it, blend it. Make another little ball. Roll them out again. Now this biscuit cutter makes medium to large size biscuits, so I may not squeeze out a full 2 dozen here. It's when you use the small mouth canning jar lid, I can get almost 12 biscuits out of a 2-cup recipe. So just giving you an idea that, you know, do you want small dainty biscuits, or do you want medium-sized biscuits, or do you like the large cat head? It's up to you. Totally up to you. There you go. All right, guys, 17 biscuits out of this batch. Well, 17 biscuits, including one dummy biscuit. We always have a dummy biscuit, but nothing goes to waste. The oven is preset and ready to rock at 400 degrees. You're going to put these in anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes. Keep an eye on it. Set your timer, okay? So depending on where you are, how it cooks. And I'm going to show you these rings and how they are different in terms of your sizes. Let's bake some biscuits. Okay, so I just want to show you what I'm talking about here. So I've got my biscuit cutter here, and it needs to be washed, but it's right here in the center. So you can see a lot of times people will use rings. You can see the difference between what is your regular mouth. We go to more of a medium to large right here. See, that's my biscuit cutter. And if you really want to get into some bigger daddy style sized biscuits, then your wide mouth ring is great to use as well. Some people just actually use the jars themselves. You can do that. Obviously, it won't get on your hands as much. I'm just showing you how the sizes are different. All right, guys, fresh out of the oven. Woo, they are hot. Check them out. Every one of you can do this, and everybody's going to love you. Let me tell you right now, put it on your Christmas list. This is that large pizza cast iron skillet, okay? You can make a large pizza in it. This is what you need to make your double batch of biscuits on. You can make a pizza on it. You can cook outside on your cowboy grill. It has endless possibilities. If you're going to add cast iron to your pantry, in addition to a standard 10 1/4 inch, a standard griddle, a standard Dutch oven, things like that, I'm telling you, you need this in your life. We're going to slather some more butter on these biscuits and add some, I don't know, honey, molasses, apple butter, you name it. We're doing it. Hope this video finds you well and helps you out. Let us know how your biscuits turn out. Guys, let's do it.